Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing as the Knicks take care of business back at MSG, pummeling these Milwaukee Bucks, man. 116-94. A get-right game is what we saw tonight. Knicks basketball, end-to-end ball movement and domination from Karl-Anthony Towns. 32 points, 11 boards, man. And the team high for the season, 35 assists. The Knicks were driving and thriving tonight at the Garden, man. Let's chop it up with the best chat in the biz. Welcome in, Knicks Nation, to the post-game live with CT. Smash that like button because the Knicks streets are buzzing tonight as the Knicks go back to 500, 4-4 on the season, right? And you know, you kind of hope that we can play Milwaukee every night after tonight, man. Milwaukee Bucks just had their hands full. It was a back-to-back for them. You know, they were playing against Utah last night, and it showed. But the Knicks just put their foot down early, and you just saw a completely different Knicks team. First quarter, no more slow starts. You know, Cat was absolutely running amok, driving, slamming, and he was popping the three ball early as well. We're going to relive all the highlights tonight, shout you guys out. And of course, let's give out the game ball, man. The fourth game ball of the season. So far, Cat's had one game ball, Bridges has had one, and Brunson has had one, right? So we're going to give out the fourth game ball of the season tonight. And all the grades, too. Give out the grades with me. Salute to the chat coach, Buzzer Beater up in here. And the many piling through tonight. Hard tackle, what's up? Great to see Cat bounce back again, you know, and have a huge game. He's been on a tear, but obviously the team, you know, looked like a more cohesive unit. Defensively, we were on lock. Man, shout out to OG Anunoby, and I thought Hart was excellent defensively as well. Bridges, really good game tonight, executing with the mid-range and shooting the three as well. Deuce, really solid game. His second good game in a row since that downer in Houston. And of course, Jalen Brunson, we're going to talk about him, man, and his dishing as well. Not as much swishing tonight, man. He needs to find his rhythm. But Brunson was excellent moving the ball tonight. Right, so we've got guys coming through the building. The defensive intensity was really what you want to see tonight. Early, you know, Cat had 13 points in the first quarter. Hart was really active. The Knicks took a huge lead at the half, 66-47. And you just didn't see any way that the Knicks were going to lose this game. I mean, what's up, Jay Giant? I'll say this first, man. This is like the first time since Giannis basically has been, you know, a star, where he's come into MSG and hasn't really, you know, hurt us, you know, at all. And that's something that's a huge credit to the Knicks defense, because every time you're kind of like, oh, is Giannis going to explode? No doubt. And now, man, credit to OG Anunoby, because, I mean, Giannis was just not really a factor in this one. You know, we were giving up contested shots, giving up, you know, open jumpers to him. He wasn't hitting them tonight. And the Bucks were just absolutely stone cold. But I think we set the tone early in this one, and we just didn't allow them, you know, to get in any kind of rhythm as well. We were guarding the perimeter really well today. And look, the best ball movement of the season, probably we're close to the Detroit game and obviously probably close to the Miami game, which we, you know, came back late. But this was a true wire-to-wire victory, comfortable from start to finish, right? We got to see some garbage time. Thought, obviously, Tyler Kolek got major minutes, though, because of Cameron Payne being out. And Kolek continues to look really nice, shooting the basketball with confidence as well. But look, Cat was absolutely dominating Brook Lopez. Hard tackle says Cat is definitely better than Jules. Coming out firing tonight, man. AC says wire to wire, not bad at all. Jay Giant says defense is much better tonight. And Wall Street Dame says we're all the Cat doubters right now. He's been balling out, you know, no doubt about it. And with that said, you know, we're reliving the Cat highlights first up, right? But as Buzzer Beater says, Cat gets his game ball. So I mean, we can do that straight off the bat tonight, right? Straight out of the gate. Classic, you know, all-star signature type performance from Karl-Anthony Towns in this one, right? And he deserves it, man. He deserves his what's going to be his second game ball of the season. He was absolutely driving and thriving, but you love the 3-point shot, him just shooting it with no hesitation. Top of the key, there was a lot of trailing threes tonight. There was pick and pop action from JB as well. So that has Knicks Nation happy, right? But I'm not satisfied, you know. I mean, this is a get right game for me. This isn't like, whoa, we're going to go all the way now. I'm so frustrated still after the Houston and the other loss to, ATL, right? But this was a get right game, and it's exactly what you wanted to see. I was expecting them to come out with a lot more fire and desire tonight, and they did, which is to their credit. But I mean, Cat continues to be excellent. 32 points, 11 rebounds, man. He gets my game ball, his second game ball of the season in the Knicks' 8th game. Right, so we're 8 games in the books now. The Knicks are shooting the 3 ball at an elite level tonight, though. Was a little bit of a mixed bag. From the field was 47%, 31%. Late, though, there was a lot of garbage time, about 7 minutes to be exact. Right, but Jalen Brunson, like I said before, inefficient once again, finished 6 of 14 and 0 of 5 from distance. But you love the 9 assists, right? This is him adjusting. When he hasn't got it going, he's getting other guys involved. J Mars has better pace. Brunson got his teammates involved. Hart with great energy. Good game. Absolutely. Great point, fam. AP says, is this the real thing? Cavaliers could be champs, 10-0. Way too early, I think, to see that. I'm not buying into the Cavaliers just yet. But yeah, they are the runaway leaders at the moment, and they deserve to be taken seriously. But I think it's really early to say that. AC says, I think Brunson might be letting Cat find his footing in this new offense. Then he will join the party. Great comment. Hopefully that's the case. But yeah, we know JB can set guys up. He's got extremely high basketball IQ. I think he was just trying to force it a bit too much, and he's been adjusting, I think, in the process right now. Who else stood out? Bridges, 3 of 11. I mean, not great, but, he was, definitely setting the tone with his defense early. I like the steal on the block. 3 assists for Bridges, 17 valuable points, though. Got a lot of shot attempts tonight. I thought OG was excellent, defensively. I mentioned Giannis not really getting much on the Knicks tonight, and that was a huge credit to OG. Yeah, huge credit for OG. As Ed K says, OG is a damn defensive genius. He is, and we're going to give out his flowers. We saw Matt Ryan get in the game for the first time as a New York Knicks. Salute to him. Kolek, 3 of 5. Excellent minutes from Jericho Sims tonight. Let's give Sims some credit, because he's clearly taken some confidence in Tibbs's faith, right? And Jericho's been playing better these last 2 games, right? Would still like to see Tibbs give Hukpority a chance, but you see Sims playing better basketball, and it looks like he's taking confidence from Tibbs giving him these minutes. But it looks like Precious Achua is not far away, guys. Precious getting closer, and so is Campaign. So the latest is Cameron Payne is getting closer. He's not practicing yet, but I think both could return in the next week or less than a week, right? As we're saluting our Knicks, guys, smash that like button. What about the team assists tonight? 35 assists for the orange and blue, 55 rebounds, putting up another 116 tonight. High-powered offense, 7 steals. You love that. 3-point shooting a little down, but extended garbage time did hurt that a bit. Really good free throw shooting from the team this season. 85% tonight, basically. 19 fast break buckets, 18 second chance points, and we didn't even win the points in the paint, but that was irrelevant, right? Giannis with just 24 points to match Cat's 32 was way too dominant in this one. Although he did get 12 rebounds, but just minimal impact from Giannis tonight. What did you guys see? Yeah, Connor says Jericho was solid tonight. Absolutely. Demario says salute, Knicks Nation. Keep rocking. Great to see you, fam. Let's give out these grades right now. and relive these highlights and look around the league, because the Knicks got to pick up some wins, consistently. I don't want to do this back and forth, great night and then a downer night. But I think those couple of losses will light a fire under this starting five, fam. And, no doubt about it, they looked a lot more cohesive. I like the chemistry between the ball movement, the driving and kicking. There was a lot of that from Brunson tonight and the rest. Hart bringing the ball up the court with purpose. Also, OG Anunoby driving and kicking. And then what can I say about the big cat, man? Obviously, defensively, he was solid tonight, but offensively, he's on an absolute tear right now, playing dominant offensive basketball and an all-star level right now. Also, Tyler Kolek remains to be a big story, getting these minutes. Cameron Payne out. I think that's going to give Tyler a lot of confidence, as the season progresses, fam, shooting the rock strong. Wall Street says, will TKO go back to third string when Payne returns? I think he will still, remain situational, but yeah, you see the blueprint. I'll say that. Cameron Payne maybe gets out again, or he, starts to be a little inconsistent. I think Tyler Kolek's taken these minutes and really done well, fam. Omar, what's up? Prezi, what's up? First grade of the night, right? Let's just give it out to the big cat, right? He's got the game ball and the first grade of the night as we relive his highlights. What did you like the most from Cat? I loved his aggression, not just settling for the three. He was driving with purpose tonight, man, and there was the blow by. Cat finished 12 of 20, 4 of 8 from distance, 4 of 5 from the free throw. No doubt the best shooting big the Knicks have had in a long, long time, especially from the free throw line. Drilling those easy buckets. Rebounding the basketball really well. 11 boards tonight, 3 offensive. Did battle foul trouble. That continues to be something where Cat, is going to have to improve on. But obviously he's the last line of defense, the anchor, and there's going to be times when he's going to have to get physical and pick up some fouls just to enforce his presence out there. But as long as he's not picking up those cheap fouls, that's what's going to get him in that foul trouble. Right, take solid fouls and then, don't pick up those silly fouls. But plus 24 tonight, 32 points, just 2 turnovers, 5 assists from the big man as well. We're going to highlight some of Cat's dimes. One of the key ones was a backdoor pass to a cutting Jalen Brunson, right? So without further ado, the first grade of tonight, man. I could go many different ways, right? I'm going to stop short at the plus because of some early foul trouble. But basically close to a flawless game from the big cat. He gets the A+ for me, and his second game ball of the young season, right? Stand up, Karl-Anthony Towns. Did battle a little, a little knock. I think knee-to-knee collision. Looked to be grimacing, but battled through that. That's what you like to see, fam. AC says Deuce looked great off the bench tonight. Cheesy Soulcake says championships aren't won in November. Yep. And User says, Yo CT, I would like to see the first subs of the game be Huck Porty and Kolek over McBride Sims and make the subs a little more earlier than maybe put in McBride. Appreciate the comment on that. I think, as the season's growing, a lot of the guys are getting more confidence. I think it's important to give situational minutes and give good minutes to players that are ready early, despite them being rookies. I think Dadier, Kolek, Huck Porty, I think those guys can give us good minutes. But Tibbs is going to, bring them along slower, I feel. Obviously, if we start losing some games, that might open the opportunities up for more of those other guys. But right now, we are 4-4 on the season. I think what Tibbs' number one aim is right now, fam, I think is to try to build as much chemistry with the starting five as much as possible. It was a delayed training camp with the late trade and slow start to the season. I think Tibbs is trying to leave these starters in a little longer just to give them more time to gel. I think which is going to help us as the season goes. But yeah, these young Lions are knocking on the door, fam, and you love to see that. We previewed it. There's going to be a lot of blowouts, fam, this season, and these guys are going to get a lot of garbage minutes too. Tonight was like 8 minutes of garbage time in what is supposed to be a close, Eastern Conference battle. But tonight wasn't even a battle. It was the New York Knicks just saying, hey, we are levels above the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Not even one level. We are levels above the Bucks tonight. So that's the most pleasing thing for me. Fabian says A plus for Cat. Coach says Cat's foul trouble will only get better when we have more bigs. Great point. Precious, Mitch, other guys available too. Huck Porty deserves some time. Jazzman says one game at a time. NYC. Great thoughts on that. Matt Ryan reminds you of Novocaine as well. Yeah, early minutes. Good to see him get his 3-point ball going late. His mum in the crowd as well. Family in the building. Good story to see Matt Ryan with the club. And look, I think Landry Shamet is probably going to be a guy that's going to get back on the roster as well. So I don't know how many opportunities Matt Ryan is going to get, but I think he's going to be ahead of Dadier. I think I've heard a lot of people say that. Dadier, we know this was kind of a development year, a learning year. He's looked decent in his minutes as Dadier, but Matt Ryan is the veteran, which offers, 45% shooting. And I think he's going to be a guy we can count on, at various times of the season. Right. As we continue to talk about the roster and the second part of the show tonight, guys, and answer any of the questions you guys have, and shout out as many comments as I can. But let's move along to the second man and the second grade of the night. Let's give our flowers to OG Anunoby now. Right. I mentioned it. How many times has Giannis come into Madison Square Garden and not really dominate? Solid game, 22 points, rebounded well, but a lot of contested jumpers, and we guarded him. OG specifically guarded him really well. OG defensively picked up 5 stocks. You heard correctly. 3 steals, 2 blocks, 14 points, plus 19. Great floor game. 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 of 6 from the free throw, but inefficient from deep. You live with that. You live with that with OG because he's been shooting well. But when he gives you 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, that's stuff in the stat sheet, basically. And 4 of 12 from the field. Outstanding game defensively from the wing stop, one half of our wing stop tonight. Tonight, wing stop was open, and it was all you can eat. Fam, was wing stop. So with that said, I'm going to give OG Anunoby his grade for the night. If he was hot offensively, he definitely gets an A+. Defensively, though, was a masterclass. So he gets the A for me, OG Anunoby. What do you guys think about that? Lonnie says when the Knicks get into their offense early, looking great. Cheesy says Tibbs has done an excellent job developing young guys since he's been here. I think he's got more to prove still. But yeah, slow and steady wins the race, I'll say. I think McBride, we did give him some time to develop in the G, and that's turned out to be good. I think so. I think, these guys are going to improve everyone. I think Precious looks better with the Knicks than he has with the Raptors. Huck Porty, he's got time to develop, but, he looks solid in his early minutes as well. These guys are just going to get better, like you said. I like these dark jerseys too, fam. I like the blue and the dark blue. Some of my favorites. Buzzer says OGA, he played like a wing stop tonight. And AC says OG is the master blaster. All the way from out of Indiana is OG Anunoby. Great performance, man. He had Giannis on lock, really, no doubt about it. But the ball movement, there was a lot of plays tonight where we got downhill. And I think when we're getting stops is when we're the most unselfish. I think when the Knicks get bogged down in that half-court offense, guys, that's when you start to see a lot of slowness and walking the ball up the court, um, taken late shots and all of those things as well. So just excellent to see the Knicks turn their stops into fast break buckets tonight, right? And of course, Cat was just driving straight down Broadway and finishing in traffic. Big Dave, ball movement is key, 100% with that. Look, Cat looks really, really good offensively, and as we get more bigs back, like Coach said, that's going to be huge for this ball club. I'm excited. Obviously 4-4 it's a mediocre start, but considering, I think I've said this before, after the second loss, we're the most vulnerable we're going to be all season, assumingly right now, is in we're only going to get stronger. You know, when you face the New York Knicks, you want to face them right now if you're an opponent, because right now we're still figuring it out. We're still gelling new pieces and that. But as the season progresses, we're going to be a stronger team. We're going to have players back, more chemistry, more cohesion with these guys as well. And we're going to be tried and tested, with some battle scars. Basically, like the one, losing to Houston, losing to a close game, a heartbreaking game in Atlanta. I think that's going to kind of fuel this team to be better. They probably had a huge practice. Tibbs probably ripped into them, watched some film, and I no doubt they came out strong tonight. So let's salute to the Josh Hart, Lionheart now. How did you guys see Hart's game? Let's look at his numbers. He was 4 of 5, drilled his one open three, 2 of 2 from the free throw. He gave us 9 rebounds tonight, 2 offensive, 7 assists, 11 points, and a plus 19 with just 3 fouls. And minutes weren't too high, which I liked, 33 minutes. So that's a big tick. We got our starters some rest tonight. OG with just 32, Hart with 33, Jalen with 31, Miles with 28. Bridges played the most as he played a little bit of that garbage time together with OG. But I mean, I loved Hart's game tonight. I mean, this is a quintessential Hart game, man. You put it in a time capsule and throw it out into space. This is the kind of game that you can tell people about. Who Josh Hart was as a player. 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 11 points. Close to a triple double. Not quite, but close to that triple double was the Lion Hart. And I love the way that he was guarding the bigs, Bobby Portis, Giannis even on these post-ups. I think he really did well, held his own, and made us proud. Did Josh Lion Hart. So with that said, I'm going to give Hart the grade right now. What do you guys think? Great performance from Josh Hart. I'm going to give him an A as well, close to a triple-double, kept guys in check. I love the assists, the rebounds, and the ball moves when Hart is getting out in transition, and we're thriving as a team. Big Dave says we need to be a little patient as we mesh, and our buzzer beater's given Cat a standout player vote. Salute, buzzer. AC says hoping for some more consistency. Bridges with the Bridges shooting, he's either spot on or a little off or way off. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think he's figuring out where to get his looks. He seems to be money in that right corner, which is good. Definitely a huge way that he's come since the Boston game as well. Troy says Hart was very good. He gets an A for you. Brian says it was a rout with some good shooting. And Buzzer's gone with the A for the Lion Hart. Yeah. I'm still torn over, Hart in the starting lineup, man. I really want to hear your arguments over whether you want to keep things as is, 8 games in. We're 500. When Mitch is healthy or Precious is back healthy, Deuce continues to shoot the ball with confidence. What would you like to see do? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Keep the starting 5 the same, or maybe switch it up. I think you can make some really strong arguments. I guess it's opponent dependent as well for me. There are certain matchups where, if they're really great defensively with wings, having Hart out there without him shooting the ball with confidence can hurt a little. We saw that against Houston and we saw that against Atlanta. But then you see these kind of matchups where the Milwaukee Bucks just don't have any wing, any decent wing defenders right now with Middleton out. And obviously Hart can get loose, He cuts well. I love him in transition as well. So yeah, there's certain matchups that it looks better than it is at times, but he locks in, and when he's locked in, man, and he's really a boost for this team, moving forward. So salute to Hart for his A in this thing. But next up, let's talk about Bridges, and then we're going to hit on the captain last from the starters and hit on the bench. Yeah, I agree with the comment. Bridges' shooting has been a little inconsistent, but it's been much better since that Boston game as a whole. He seems to really love that mid-range jumper, the fade, the baby J, and he loves the corner as well. So I like Bridges taking his shots when he drives. He's aggressive. I don't want him just settling for threes. But tonight he was 17 points, 21 plus, 3 of 11 struggling from distance, but 7 of 18 from the field. I like the 3 assists, a steal and a block. That's a much better effort defensively than he was in Atlanta tonight. And yeah, the 1 offensive rebound, 3 rebounds total, just 1 turnover and 1 foul. So a solid game from Bridges despite the shooting. So I'm going to give Bridges the grade right now. Better performance than the one in Atlanta. I think Atlanta game he was really struggling. Figuring out as the team were on the perimeter and figuring out where to be and what to do. So with that said, I'm going to go a B for tonight's performance, a solid B for Mikal Bridges. You love the 17 points. He's the third, on paper, he's the third leading scorer on this team. He's had a game ball this season, but he's just starting to really find his, niche, I think, in the starting 5, which is, attack closeouts, hit the open corner, relocate. He's really good at constant movement. Spotting a lapse in the defense and cutting at the right point. I love him flashing to the free throw line when they go zone, and he can get a mid-range J that away. Or I love him also driving and fading baseline. Well, just finding his spots, I think, will help his consistency. Doug Fresh says great defense tonight, Knicks. Yeah, it really was. It was excellent. Statement victory, I'll say now, fam. Eastern Conference team that's struggling, but anytime you can absolutely pummel the Milwaukee Bucks, it's a statement because we haven't been playing good, the last 2 games. So it was a bounce back tonight. Buzzer says leave it as is. They need to build chemistry first, and then we can switch it up with any hiccups. That's a good point. And AP says Pat Riley changed the lineups based on the matchup of the night. That's something that Tibbs has done in the past, occasionally, but he's more likely to do it if he has more guys that he can trust. So we'll see. I think certainly having Mitch healthy will create the biggest question over whether Hart will come out of the starting 5. Maybe even Achua. Maybe if Deuce McBride just continues to shoot it well. I think those are the 3 main candidates. But look, Tyler Kolek, I could see a world where he takes minutes away from Cameron Payne. I really can. I think he's been the biggest winner, the beneficiary since Payne has been out. I can't wait to talk more about Tyler Kolek, fam. Get your thoughts on that. Get your comments in, fam. The chat's buzzing right now. And smash that like button as we're about to hit on the captain for his performance tonight and the final grade of your New York Knicks starters tonight that put the beat down on the Milwaukee Bucks, 116 to 94, fam. A wire-to-wire victory. And man, we look really good playing at home, long road trip, It started really well, beating Miami, beating Detroit. We had a little bump along the road in Houston. We had a letdown game in ATL, but we're back home now. We're dominating, and let's continue, man. Let's start rolling now, as we'll face some Indiana opponent coming up, and then we're going to face the Philadelphia 76ers, fam, in the first NBA Cup game as well. But for everyone listening, we've got a scheduling announcement in case you're not aware. As I revealed recently, we've got a live stream tomorrow night with the one and only Bill Daughtry, New York City, New York sports media broadcasting legend, friend of the show. Bill Daughtry makes his first appearance of the season. After 8 games, we're going to chop up all of the New York Knicks state right now after tonight's huge win tomorrow night. Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be talking to Bill Daughtry tomorrow night. So look forward to seeing what is up with Bill. Been messaging with Bill a little, but I haven't really heard too much of what he thinks so far of the Knicks' start to the season. Now let's hit on the captain. Right. What is your thoughts on Brunson's grade tonight? As Doug says, keep our starting 5. So we're starting to see some more people on the side of keeping it as is, as they build that chemistry. But JB, man, 9 assists tonight. Inefficient from the field, but I loved his decision making in that it was the third quarter was his best quarter of the night. Had some drives, had some nice assists as well. And I was just finding guys in rhythm, right? And it was great to see Brunson, pick his spots better. I don't think he was forcing it in that third. He was getting his flow to game going. He was finding guys, and he was just playing under control, which he hasn't been recently. So that's been an improvement. What is a little concerning is he just seems a little bit out of sync offensively with his jump shot. 6 of 14 tonight and 0 of 5 from distance, but got 4 free throws, 9 assists, 2 rebounds, no turnovers. That's a huge improvement, and 2 fouls and 15 points, plus 28, though team high in the plus minus, which can be a mixed bag at times. But so with that said, I like the 9 assists and I love the no turnovers. I mean, that's quintessential floor general point guard play, with no assists, no turnovers, 9 assists as well, despite the inefficiency. So this was a get right game from a certain standpoint, from that perspective. But because I do tend to grade Brunson a little more tougher than the others, he is the floor general and the captain, I'm going to go a solid B for Brunson tonight, right? Got guys involved, and it was much better in the second half. But obviously, hopefully, he finds his jump shot from 3, because that's really going to change things up for this offense big time, fam. Great win, David. Salute. Wall Street Dame says JB got to learn to play off the screen more. Yeah, I think Cat top of the key is our biggest weapon. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think is the Knicks' biggest weapon in terms of schematically, now that we're 8 games into the season? For me, it's Brunson, Cat, top of the key, pick and pop, pick and roll, whatever it's going to be, man. That's what's going to lead us, hopefully, all the way to a championship, in money time. And when I say that, I mean, Cat's shooting at the 3 ball, man, with confidence. He's looking really nice. And you give him any bit of daylight, he can drive as well. So that Brunson synergy with Cat, like you said, Dame, is going to be huge for this ball club. But yeah, another pleasing statistic tonight, guys, is that for the 7th game in running, your New York Knicks starters are all in double digits as well. So just before we move to the bench now, a big shout out for the starters, building more chemistry, overcome some bumps along the way before tonight. But tonight, man, was a huge statement. with the starters, and both sides of the ball much better. We made the Milwaukee Bucks look as bad as they are, and we capitalized, and that's what you love to see. As Michael Armstrong says, good game to get right. 100% agree with you on that. So it was a feel-good night from that perspective. We got out unscathed, no injury reports as well, knock on wood. We're going to get Cameron Payne back, I think, within the week. Probably going to get Precious Achua back within a week as well. Matt Ryan's in the fold. Hopefully Mitch and Landry Shamet maybe not far away. But yeah, as we hit on the bench next, McBride, Sims, Kolek got the bulk of the minutes. What do you guys think about the 8-man rotation once again? We need to give Tibbs a grade, actually, before we move on to the bench, right? Good game to get right. How do you evaluate Tibbs' game tonight, fam? I'm still not a fan of the 8-man rotation, if I'm being really honest with you. It's really early in the season. I don't see why he can't get the ninth guy in there, whether that's Huck Porty, Day for a little bit. You got to find a way, I think, to increase this rotation a bit, because it is going to wear on these guys. But look, fortunately tonight was a blowout, and guys got a little breather late in the ball game. So considering the record, though, and the win, and the way we got it done, I'm going to give Tibbs a B for tonight, fam. I think when Milwaukee went zone, I think we looked pretty switched on, and we looked ready to attack that zone. I think so. Tibbs looked like he's got this team prepared for the zone, and these players were able to make the best of that. I think, sometimes when we're up by about 15, 20, healthy lead, and the other team goes zone, sometimes we can struggle, and and they go on a little run. But we held firm, and we battled through that, and we even increased the lead. Buzzer says, appreciate you mentioning pick and pop, pick and roll. I've been asking for this since the trade. Yeah, hopefully we start to see more wrinkles, because sometimes it takes 10 games for them to expand their playbook more as well. But I think at times we're playing a little too unselfish, trying to pass the ball too many times to get a better shot and give up a good shot. David M says, when Cat, Bridges, and JB get it going at the same time, we're going to be really dangerous. You said it. I mean, we are, coming into tonight's game, fam, we are the 4th best offense in the league. We put up another 116 piece on the Milwaukee Bucks head. So I think we're probably going to move to a top 2 defense, a top 2 offense, top 1, top 3 even, after tonight's ball game. So we're moving in the right direction offensively. I'm not really worried about that. Where we lost the Houston and the ATL games were on the defensive side. AC says, I give Tibbs Snarl a perfect 10 for tonight. Steve says it was a very good Knicks win. Buzzer says 8-man thumbs down, 10-man thumbs up. Look, 10-man would be nice, but that's wishful thinking, I think, right now. Hopefully when, Precious, Mitch, and Shamet are back, I think we could see a 10-man at some point. But it's probably going to be close to a 9. With that said, I mean, look, one of the reasons Tibbs does do that is because we've got so much versatility. I mean, Hart can guard 2s, 3s, 4s. OG can guard anybody. Bridges can guard multiple guys as well. I think that's what makes, Tibbs cling on to that 8-man, right? So without further ado, the first guy off the bench tonight, let's talk about Deuce McBride. Bounce back after Houston. Solid shooting night in the loss to Atlanta. And Deuce was solid tonight, man. I think he didn't really play as much. But 5 of 11, 2 of 6 from distance, both free throws. I like Deuce's rebounding tonight, 5 rebounds. He gave us 2 assists as well. And he gave us basically no turnovers. So he was 14 points plus 21. Really solid 14 points off our bench, which is our sixth man, right? We had one of those games where we only had 3 points off our bench, and that was when Deuce was down in Houston. So huge bounce back since then. So I'm going to give Deuce some flowers now. You guys let me know what you think of Deuce's performance, man. Rebounded well and filled up the stat sheet with this one. Solid overall game as our sixth man with 14 points. I'm going to go B plus for Deuce McBride. Thought he was excellent on both sides, and you just love his ability to play next to Brunson. I like those minutes. I also like him playing next to Kolek, so I think as we're going to hit on Kolek next, we've got some nice combinations in the backcourt. Even if Cameron Payne is out, I think we're showing that our depth can get us by right now. As Kolek's young in his career, but I think he's just going to go from strength to strength. Is Tyler Kolek. Stanley Mann says McBride's defense was better tonight, and defense and rebounding was key. Paula says salute chat, salute CT. Great to see you, Paula. How did you see tonight? Stanley says Jericho had 4 offensive rebounds. Yeah, better effort from the bench tonight. From Payne, from Kolek, from Sims, and from Deuce. Right. Would have loved to see Dadier just get in there a bit earlier, or even Huck Porty. But with that said, Deuce is our sixth man, and he's so valuable. He's been excellent for the most part this season. The mid-range jumper continues to be money. Was okay from distance, higher volume, six attempts. As I do acknowledge that the Knicks took 45 3-point attempts tonight, so that is significant. It's more possessions. We're playing at a faster pace, and we're getting more threes up. So that is what you want to see. We had more possessions as well because of our offensive rebounds too. So that side of the floor was excellent, and long may it continue. So yeah, let us know how you see Deuce's performance. But let's hit on Tyler Kolek next up. Continues to shoot the 3 ball hot. 2 of 4 from distance. 3 of 5 from the field. I love these 4 rebounds, including 2 were offensive. 2 assists and a steal. 8 points and 1 turnover. 1 turnover basically for Kolek. And 2 personal fouls. -3. But 15 minutes for the neophyte. I like what he's doing. The ball movement comes downhill really good. Ambidextrous, as Clyde always says. He can swing it to the left, swing it to the right, and he can drill those open threes as well. So, yeah, he looks mature out there. Obviously, defensively, he has some limitations, as we know, with his size, and he's got to read the game better. I think he'll continue to get better on that side though, as he sees more opponents, and the game starts to slow down. But obviously, as a rookie, he's got to get in the weight room, build up some more strength, and that's going to help him as well. But what he is doing well is moving the basketball, assists, the energy, the hustling is there with the rebounds tonight, and the 3-point shooting. I mean, who would have pegged Tyler Kolek coming in, fam, to be lights out from distance? So I think after tonight, Tyler Kolek is shooting. I think he's shooting something like six out of his first 8 attempts. Yeah, I think he was a perfect 4 of 4 coming into tonight. So he's shooting now 6 of 8 from distance, which is unbelievable early. And just continue letting it fly, young fella. Shoot it with confidence. Let me bring it up now as before we give out the grade, and we can just see this one. Tyler Kolek spacing the floor out in the corner, fam. That's the benefit of having a point guard that can play off ball. And we have 3 or 4 of them now. Brunson, Deuce, Payne, and Tyler Kolek can all space the floor out as a point guard. It's an embarrassment of riches right now at the Knicks point guard spot, and it's going to be a good battle, I think, as the season goes, man. I could see a point in this season, make no mistake, where Tyler Kolek forces Tibbs to think about giving him the minutes. It's obviously only going to come if Payne struggles, because Payne has earned that spot. I think Payne has been pretty solid as a whole, but yeah, it's good to see the young fella, play well, in his limited opportunities. David says, CT, do you see anything on the court to justify Sims playing ahead of Hakporidi? Look, things are changing. I think after the last 2 games, I have got to give Sims some credit, I've got to give Sims some flowers where I think he's doing some things at a solid level, I think. But I didn't see a reason for Tibbs to persist after some of the struggles that Sims was having earlier. But look, Tibbs supported Sims through that, and Sims has been better in these last 2 games. But there's still some things where I feel like Hakporidi can give us more on the offensive side and defensively on the rebounds and anchoring the D. But I think depth-wise, Jericho is benefiting from the experience he's had with Tibbs, I think, over the last few years, But in terms of that specifically, I think he set screens pretty well. Rebounding has been a little better recently. Obviously tonight, 4 offensive rebounds was solid. But we are going to hit on Sims in a second, right after we give Kolek his first grade of the night. And we're going to do that now. Let us know what you think, fam. TKO. Shooting the basketball really solid. I'm going to go in his minutes, fam. I'm going to give Tyler, the creator, an A-, fam, for his minutes. Let us know what you think. Because it's not easy to come in and play for small spurts, in and out. There's a lot of pressure on the young man as well, I think, having to step in. Brian says, great chemistry win, working out these bugs. And Paula says, Kolek also passes the rock, can really shoot the ball. Defense needs work, but overall I gave him a B for tonight. Kaiser Soze says, Deuce turned into such a sniper from 3. Yeah, I like Deuce in that mid-range as well. And I think, the Deuce-Kolek combination is really good. I like the Deuce-Brunson combination as well. And I know Buzzer Beater and others are a fan of the Kolek-Payne combination as well. You get a bit of everything with ball movement and shooting, which is really, really solid. So, the Knicks depth chart is looking stronger. And it will get stronger when Mitch, Precious Achua, and that other veteran spot, whether it's Landry Shamet after his rehab or another guy. I think the Knicks are going to get stronger as the season goes. And maybe some of these rookies have to wait a little longer for some more opportunity. But they have had a taste early in the season. I think it's important to give rookies a taste of it so that they can use that as fuel, use that as motivation when they hit the training and they get into practice. They can really highlight things that they can work on as well. And I think all of our rookies, bar McCullough, has got a taste of what the NBA action is all about. Dadier, opening night in Boston, was first guy off the bench. Hakporidi played, down the stretch against Cleveland, big minutes for him. Tyler Kolek now played important minutes in the absence of Cameron Payne. So it's all been, a bit of mix and match, but all of these rookies have had little opportunities very early in this season. And there's going to be plenty more opportunities to come their way. Now, last but not least, we're going to give out the final grade to Jericho Sims, man. Credit to him for 4 offensive rebounds. Still comes down with the rebound, doesn't look at the basket when he needs to, but I think that's something he needs to work on. Again, I think he's worried about maybe getting his shot blocked. with his sort of lack of length with his wingspan. But one steal, an assist as well. I saw him put the ball on the floor, try to run that fast break. I saw that Jericho ended up in a nice result, but it was a little funky. But good rebounding game, solid. Much better in terms of his 14 minutes tonight. A better effort, I think, overall than what we've seen from Jericho. So will he stay in the rotation? I haven't seen anything to suggest that Tibbs is going to take him out. So with that said, my grade for Jericho is going to be a B minus. I thought this is definitely one of his best games of the season. I thought he was okay in the last game, but yeah, tonight was much better in his spot minutes too. He was a bit more confident and a bit more physical, and he was a bit more assured with those bounds, as well, battling on the glass too. So that rounds out the performance for tonight, man. Our 8-man rotation together with Tibbs, with our starters dominating Cat A plus game ball, good A game from OG and Lion Hart, and some B's sprinkled in for Brunson, Mikal, and Tibbs. Right now, let's chop up the highlight plays and the road ahead. Let's build on this because Cat is dominating. Let's feed him the rock. Let's acknowledge that Cat is the best offensive player on this team right now, and that's not a hot take. He's night and day above Brunson and anybody else on this team offensively, fam. So let's keep him cooking because tonight was a domination from both sides of the floor, but mostly offensively. I mean, here he is, early established dominance in the first half, coming downhill as the trailer. I mean, just no answer, right, for that. And another assist from Josh Hart, a fake handoff to Deuce. Deuce set a nice screen, and Cat came downhill. That was one of my favorite plays of the night. And this was the first stuff of the night from Cat. Just said, to hell with this. Brook Lopez, you can't hang with me. And Brook has lost a step or two, definitely. He ain't a shell of the player that he used to be. But Cat, dominant tonight. You love to see the drive and the shooting. Not a lot of bad shots from Cat at all, That has been a knock on Cat in terms of shot selection, falling into a trap of just hoisting things. But yeah, he's really starting to catch a rhythm from distance. And this is, early. I want us to look for Cat in the first quarters because you get him going and then it just opens up the defense where guys, they have to start closing out real hard. And that's just going to open up, these driving lanes. Wall Street loves the Tyler positive minutes. Kaiser Soze says Deuce is good with everyone because he's also great on defense. Yeah, he's versatile. Swiss Army knife. But yeah, since the shot came along with Deuce, it really has changed his game. Brian says, only one I'm worried about is Bridges struggling to find his timing. Yeah, I think that makes sense because he's the newest Nick outside of Cat. But, a guy who had a down year in Brooklyn, and I think, playing with the Knicks, it's going to take him probably the first 25 games, I think, to get to his best. But, tonight he gives us 17 points. I think, yeah, his timing is going to come. I think Precious Achiuwa is, a huge part of this team, fam. Precious, you see him on the bench, really animated. I think the best is yet to come for Precious Achiuwa. So I would love us to see if Precious can start next to Towns at some time, if not be the first big off the bench, early in the ball game, and maybe get a look at him next to Cat as well, because we're going to be really dominant rebounding and also protecting the rim with that. But yeah, this is the version of OG Anunoby that I love as well, guys. not settling for those threes, using his physicality. You see that bully ball, got into the paint and said, Torian Prince, out of my way, with a two-handed slam. OG's been giving us those ever since he became a Knick, especially against Philadelphia in the playoffs too. So yeah, on a night where a Cat was absolutely cooking, we're going to relive all of his highlights as well and chop up the road ahead. But the Knicks get back to 500. Important game, important win. The vibes are immaculate right now. But yeah, 32-11 and 5 from Cat. That's all-star level basketball. All-star level basketball. And look, he looks really comfortable playing at MSG. So the Knicks starting five have all scored in double figures. This marks the 7th consecutive game. So that is a franchise record, tying a franchise record. With that said, so we're starting to get in the right direction, fam. We're starting to build, taking care of business at MSG. That's really, really important. I'm just chopping up the wash up between the reporters. So we're going to get these quotes out for you as well. We've got a Cat on-court interview, and we also have Brunson in the locker room. So let's hear from those guys right now. Get this with the sound going. Let's hear from Cat with Alan Hahn.
Karl, after the game in Atlanta, you talked about the need to start games strong, and you put it upon yourself to do that. You said, I have to be better at the beginning of games. Was that in the back of your mind when this game started?
For sure, especially when you come home in front of these great fans in the Mecca. You want to come out strong, and you want to be able to get the win for them.
Over the road trip, it seemed like you found yourself in this offense. What has changed for you, where now it feels like you are very comfortable in this offense?
It's people like that. Cap getting me, just putting me in positions to succeed. Our teammates have just been great, and we're just getting more cohesive with each other. So testament to the coaching staff, testament to Cap, all the starters, everyone on this team being professionals, and we're all finding a way to find wins for this team.
From Cap to Cat, the assists have been racking up between you two. Thanks so much, Karl.
Appreciate it.
Karl, after... Has it taken a couple games, though, to know where he is? Because it seemed like there's other players that you've been playing with that you know where they're going to be. With him, did it take a few games to realize where they'll be?
It's going to take time to be just, like, cohesive, like how we were at the end of the year last year. I mean, this is kind of a different team. And so for us, we got to continue to gel every single day and just keep learning.
Has it taken a couple games, though, to know where?
Yeah, so that was JB and that was Cat, man. Heads up tonight, man. Did handle their business. I see DN also say if the game wasn't a blowout, Tibbs would have played a much shorter rotation again. So yeah, as I said before, I'm not getting carried away with this win. It was a get right win. We handled our business. Anytime you beat Milwaukee, it's a good win because of Giannis and the respect that he's done to us in the past, and also Damian Lillard as well. But yeah, they are well and truly a shell of the team that they used to be. And so yeah, I want us to string together the consistency. But the starting five, I mean, we're starting to see that trend where they are feeling more, confident, more comfortable offensively. I think defensively, that's just going to take time, for guys to get on the right page. And obviously, down the stretch is going to be a big test, like it was in Atlanta, Houston, these close games. But there is one silver lining to losing those, heartbreaking close games, and that is that, you suffer those losses early in the season, So by the time we go through our lumps and we get to the postseason, we've figured it all out, So I think that's what's the most important thing with us right now is just figuring it out where we can play our best basketball, get the ball in the right people's hands down the stretch, not ice Karl-Anthony Towns out of the game like Brunson has been, the last couple of games. And, a step in the right direction tonight, 45 threes, pushing the break, faster tempo. And yeah, the Wingstop was open tonight, giving out, all you can eat, basically. And great games from OG Anunoby. And defensively, Josh Hart as well. Bridges was okay defensively. And we definitely made things difficult for Milwaukee, to get in any kind of rhythm as well. So just pleasing across the board for the starters and the bench tonight. A better game and a get right game. Now let's take this game and build on it. We've got Indiana, right, coming in. We've got to hit the road to Indiana, and then we've got a couple of home games, Philly and Chicago. Philly of the NBA Cup too. And then we can get on a roll. Chicago, Brooklyn, Washington, before that first long West Coast road trip with Phoenix, Utah, Denver, and Dallas as well. So, we hover around 500 maybe early in the season, but then maybe things start to click right up until that 20-point game, that 20-game period. But yeah, these guys are learning from their mistakes. Like I saw tonight, they did correct a lot of the things that weren't great in Atlanta, specifically getting the ball in Cat's hands early, getting him downhill, getting more threes up, and all of that. But pick and roll defense was solid. I think we were making life difficult for Dame. He is a smaller guard. We were guarding Giannis really well straight up. Tibbs didn't even try to bring the double on Giannis, man. OG had that thing covered. And here he is, OG, running the break. Sandman says, sup, CT, despite JB not having a shooting game, he gets an A from me as he was finally the point guard. Yeah, he was playing like that true point guard tonight, no doubt about it, and give JB his flowers too. I'm a little harder on JB for both sides of the floor, so I gave him a B tonight, but I did love the 9 assists as well and the patience on offense. Troy says, I said the Knicks should win 6 of 7. They have won 1. I'm greedy. Let's get the next 6-2. Yeah, you said it, man. I want to see us get rolling, get rolling right before December hits, And then obviously, yeah, the NBA Cup will be there, and then the trade season starts to hit. But yeah, let's look at the standings because we've got a situation where Cleveland are rolling, but the East is really open. Right, the East is really open. And I'm going to refresh the standings right now and bring it up. But this win is significant because it takes us from like 7th all the way back up to 3rd now. As I get this thing up on screen, yeah, here we go. So yeah, the New York Knicks now move into 3rd with 4-4 record. We're ahead of Charlotte, Indiana, Brooklyn, Miami, Detroit, ATL, Orlando, and you got to scroll all the way down to get to Milwaukee and Philadelphia, man. Struggle town in Brew City and the city of brotherly love, fam. 2 of the biggest rivals, right? Milwaukee and Philly, off to some of their worst starts in franchise history, fam. This is the worst Milwaukee start in 3 decades, right? And we pile on the pain. And Philadelphia as well. Joel Embiid is going to make his return against us at MSG, NBA Cup. That game is going to be buzzing, and we're going to bring out a preview show for that game, hopefully with a guest as well. But that game is going to be huge because we can pile on the pain for Philadelphia. Tyrese Maxey is out for at least a couple of weeks, reportedly, with a hamstring. Joel Embiid been nursing the early knee soreness of the season. I think it's a real chance to further pile the pain on Philadelphia and send them further down. Not that they can get any further, but I mean dig themselves a deeper hole. Right now they are 1-6, right? And we need to capitalize because this start of the season is critical. I mean, who am I worried about? I'm not worried about Charlotte at all. So I don't think we're going to regress from here. We've got a big game against Indiana. That's going to be a big swing in the season series, fam. Having taken the first game against Indiana, now this game in Indiana on the road. I think it's a chance for the New York Knicks to basically split the season series straight away in the first 2 games. So that's critical as well. I think, Brooklyn are definitely going to regress. They're going to probably have a fire sale of some of their veterans. You got the Miami Heat struggles in in the locker room with Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley. Talk of them, looking at their next superstar that they're going to try to acquire. Detroit, and then Atlanta. I mean, how did we lose to Atlanta, man? We should have won that one, but they're 4-6 as well. Orlando, they're going to deal without Paolo Banchero for a longer stretch as well. Chicago already 3 games below 500. You know that they're going to basically, try to tank, I think, as the season goes, if they are out of contention for the play-in. And then you've got all these teams, man. So, I mean, the Knicks haven't even played close to their best, and here we are, we're 3rd. So, what is your thoughts on that? Yeah, Philly's banged up, Dame. And Sandman Hornets beat the Pacers today. Yeah, I saw Tyrese Halliburton blow a dunk, a wide open transition dunk as well. So look, a lot of teams have regressed. I mean, Indiana aren't the same team as they were last season, fam. They might have to swing a couple of trades as well. They've got some injuries. They've obviously lost their 2 backup bigs for the season. There's a couple of guys. I think one of them was their names escape me, man. They're 2 backup bigs. But Indiana are definitely going to rely on small ball. And I think that it's a case of them, not having the firepower without Halliburton, Maybe even LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller might have the Hornets in the play-in this season. So look, yeah, big time win to get right. But if we had beaten Houston and we had beaten Atlanta, man, we'd be like 6-2, which would be an incredible swing. We'd be 6-2 and basically tied with Boston. In terms of having played 2 less games, but we'd be tied in 2nd, which is incredible. Now AP was asking earlier about Cleveland. Are they the real deal? Should we be thinking about Cleveland as a real championship contender? I mean, it's really early to say. I think continuity is something that's really helping them, but I'm not ready to put them in that category yet. I think it's still Boston, and it's New York, and then I still have Cleveland below as well. Now the record suggests, Cleveland deserved to be in that 2nd tier at least. But look, a leopard doesn't change its spots, man. I feel like we've seen Cleveland start hot 3 seasons in a row and or have hot stretches, but they do regress. They do regress. They're heavily reliant on Garland and Spider. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Sandman, Halliburton's shot has really, it's really deserted him. And I think without that, that opens up the rest of his game. And I just don't think that, it's going to return, because it's always been a funky shot, I mean, that's why NBA draft scouts get paid big money. They had concerns over Halliburton's, kind of push shot, and when you're on the scouting report and you can get on it and you can pressure him and drive him off the 3-point line so that he can't get off that cannon pull shot, then man, it's tough for him right now. So we're seeing that right now. And look, Indiana's in a world of trouble. Philly are in a world of trouble, and the Milwaukee Bucks, right? We might have just sent them all the way to the trade table, fam, to discuss new trades right now, as the Milwaukee Bucks scored a measly 94 points tonight they really need Chris Middleton back, but Chris Middleton's a guy that you just can't count on. You just cannot, because it's just been year after year after year where, where he just can't stay healthy. He just can't stay healthy. So let's shout you guys out a bit more as we're riding high, man. Friday night Knicks. Smash that like button. Is this the best win of the season? What is your thoughts? Right. Given the competition, I'm not going to say that it's the best win of the season. I think the Indiana win or the Miami win, I think, was probably slightly better. Obviously, the Detroit win, the way we played was the best, but it was against Detroit. So I think, given the level of competition, I think our best win has probably still been that Miami win. Me personally, what do you guys think? Yeah, DN, I'd be shocked if Doc Rivers can survive. Right. But having said that, I don't know if there's much more that he can do, because their roster is just really deficient. You take Middleton out of that roster, and it's just like, man, Dame. I mean, some of the shots Dame was missing tonight, airballing. Dame is just a shell of himself, man. And credit to to Portland, man. They cashed in at the right time, and the Milwaukee Bucks, man, they're going to regret trading Drew Holiday. But look, Giannis still in his prime. They could obviously trade him and they could get a king's ransom. When they do end up trading Giannis, and I do think it's going to happen eventually. I don't think Giannis is going to see out his prime, the rest of his prime years, with this ball club, because they're just never going to compete again. I don't think. Right, it's going to take a miracle. Yeah, the Miami win, DN and Wall Street would agree with me. I think the Miami win was our best win of the season so far. And then probably close behind was the Indiana win as well, the first win of the season. And then probably Detroit, or probably this one, and then Detroit. Despite us playing so well against Detroit, the competition was just not the same level. Best one says they already regret trading Holiday. Yeah, they do, man, they do. But I understand why they did it, because on paper Dame is is electric, 30 points a night, but his game is just really regressed. And Drew Holiday is that perfect defender, glue guy for that championship team. But man, what a dime from Cat, man! This was my favorite dime of the game, man. Couple of pump fakes. Here we go, Cat on the block. This is the versatility of Karl-Anthony Towns tonight, with 32, 11, and 5, fam. And this is Deuce McBride pushing the break, getting easy offense. Buzzer Beater says, CT, what is the next step in our team's development? Great question, man. You're a student of the game. Appreciate the questions you give us, man. What is the next step in our team's development? I'm going to say quite simply, consistency. Putting it all together for 4 quarters. Now, we've had flashes. We've obviously struggled against physical wings, and we've put the sword against teams that are slow and soft, like Detroit, the Bucks, and some of the other teams, Indiana early. So we can put the food away when, they're easy. But I think against physical teams, learning to execute this level of offense with speed, ball movement, and getting, Cat involved more. I think that's the next step on a consistent level. But also, like tonight was a step in the right direction, 45 threes. Sometimes it comes down to simple math. You shoot more shots than the other team shoots, and you've got a high chance of winning the ball game. That Atlanta game, we weren't shooting as many shots because they were getting the rebound, or we were too slow. And so I think we have to establish a faster pace. get more threes up, get faster in our possessions, and you know, we can continue to do all that nice ball movement stuff, but we just got to do it quicker and just make great decisions. Sandman says Dame plays no D. We are harsh on Brunson's D, but Dame's D is 10 times worse. You said it, man. 100% agree with you. I mean, it kind of reminds me of so many players we had in the past, man. You could go down the list from Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, you know, who did play defense at times with his hands, was solid getting those strips, but you know, Jose Calderon, you know, those kind of point guards were a turnstile. So we've seen plenty of those players come, and Dame is just definitely one of them. Look, if you're Doc Rivers, or you know, you're a coach in that situation, you've got to change your schemes up. You know, defensively, you've got to change your coverage because you know you're just getting chewed up. You know, what is the next step in our development? DN says, my answer would be to define clear roles for all players, particularly on offense. I agree with that. And I've talked about that recently about hierarchy. You know, as we're seeing, you know, every team, every professional team in sports has a hierarchy in terms of when the shot clock's going down, it's game 7, and there's, you know, 2 minutes remaining, and you're down 3, right? Who's going to get that shot, right? Do you just pass the ball around for 20 seconds and whoever ends up with the ball last takes the shot? No. You go to your best guy, you know, you find them and you get them in position. So I think, yeah, the Knicks got to establish that hierarchy, and I think it's pretty clear right now that Karl-Anthony Towns is at the top on offense, and it's Brunson on second setting him up. But Brunson has the ball in his hands first as the point guard, so he has the choice. He has the, you know, the power is with him, whether to drive, kick, pass it to Cat, and when to pass it. So I think Brunson has the most responsibility out of anybody, but Cat has the, you know, the best offensive ability, the best offensive talent, I think. And Cat is definitely a top 10 offensive player in the NBA, I think, in just versatility. You know, top 5, top 3 big man, you know, in this league. In terms of offense, it's Joel Embiid, in no particular order. It's Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and it's Karl-Anthony Towns, man. Offensively, there's no other bigs that are touching those 3 guys, man, on offense. Bam Adebayo doesn't even have, you know, that level of a bag. You know, it's Embiid, well, Anthony Davis you could throw in the mix, but even then he's not top 3. It's Joker, Embiid, and Cat. So I mean, we have a top 3 big in the league on offense. We need to treat him like he is that, you know. And tonight we did, you know, got him all those looks in the right spots. Wall Street Dame says, I'm confident that Cat will dominate the East. Great test coming up, fam, against Miles Turner again. He had his way last time, and then he's going to have his way against Philly in Joel Embiid's return, the first game of his season. Right, he's going to be gimpy on one knee, is Joel Embiid on that one. So I want to see Cat attack Embiid. Right, that's going to be box office with that said too. So great night overall as we're all buzzing. Back to 500, and it's a case of the New York Knicks now just take this game and build on it, get Cat involved more. He's on a tear, 32 points tonight, 11 rebounds, 2 Eastern Conference rivals next up, and a chance to build and get above 500 again, man, and hold on to that 3rd seed and build on that, fam. Cleveland runaway leaders, Boston there, and we're right there, 4-4, above the pack of everyone else. Right, let's continue to cook, guys. But yeah, I want to see the consistency on the defensive side as well. I think Precious getting back at the right time is going to help us a lot. You know, I'm not even worried about Cameron Payne right now because Tyler, the creator, is playing solid basketball with those minutes, right, together with Deuce McBride. But can we get a 9th man in the rotation, please? Right, it can't just be 2 point guards and Jericho Sims. You know, I'm cool with Matt Ryan getting 6 minutes. I'm cool with Daddy getting 6 minutes, but just expand the rotation, please. Tibbs. And great night, fam. Paula, DN, Wall Street, Buzzer Beater. Let's get it, Knicks Nation. Sandman, Troy, Johnny. Big time win. Best one. Friday night Knicks was a blast tonight. Blowout win, you take it. No cardiac tonight. Low key, let's build on this. And Indiana up next. But like I said, join us tomorrow night. Live 8 p.m. with special guest Bill Daughtry. And I'll see you then. Peace.